everyone, and welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host, and here at RedBeard Outdoors, I talk about faith, family, fitness, and the outdoors. The reason being is that I want you to follow along with my journey, but also to have your own journey to success, and whatever success is defined for you. For me, that's living a happy, healthy life, one that I can provide for my family, and also that I can provide for those around me some good insights and knowledge on things that I'm passionate about, which for me would be the outdoors. I love gear, definitely a gear nerd, and just good quality nutritional products as well. So that's what I want for you guys. That's what I aim to do with RedBeard Outdoors. For me personally, just even if I didn't have this podcast, I love working with good quality equipment, and I want to share that with others. When you're so passionate about something because you've used it and you've enjoyed it and you want to share it with other people, that's how I feel about all the companies listed down below. Definitely go check them all out. They're all amazing. I use all their products. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't. And most of them are either smaller companies, local, and US based, of course. So definitely go check them out. All right, guys, I've got a quick one for you today. I'm recording these before I head out to go for my last 9 days of elk hunting, which I'm super stoked about. I love my wife and that she's providing the opportunity for me to be able to go. I got everything squared away with work, with the kids, everything that I could, and she's providing, the rest. So definitely stoked about that. Thank you so much. Shout out to my wife because she's an awesome woman. I wanted to answer a couple of questions. Well, mainly one question here. How I got into archery. Okay, so that's going to be the main gist of today. Guys, just with this podcast, with the Instagram and everything else that I've got going on with RedBeard's Fit Crew, I have a lot of passions. Archery has come out as one of the highlights of the last couple of years, and I'd love to explain that here in the Wednesday Wakeup podcast. So today's going to be short, sweet, to the point, and hope you enjoy it. For those of you looking at getting into archery, there are so many different ways that you can get in. Okay, this is just my journey, something that I really have enjoyed, and I'm still on that journey. I'm still a newbie, guys. I'm green, I'm fresh. I know I post a lot about archery, but it's because I'm just so passionate about it, and I want to share it with you guys. Again, going back to what I said at the beginning, good gear, good habits, good nutrition, all of that. I want to share it all with you guys, and archery seems to be at the forefront for many reasons. So to start off, I'm a gun guy, if you want to call it that. I am a big proponent of the Second Amendment, and that doesn't come off in a lot of my posts because I don't post a lot about guns, but I started out hunting, and even before hunting, shooting pistols just at targets with my dad. Grew up doing that, growing up, of course, shooting BB guns, moving up to the 410 shotgun, some 22 rifles, and, that obviously progressed. Ended up getting into hunting as an adult and started with a rifle, just a basic 308, which I think is a great, in my opinion, still a great caliber. Does kind of everything from a little bit longer ranges to hunting to target to, it's just a great, great quality caliber, cartridge, whatever you want to call it. And so, I got into hunting that way, and I loved it, and I love animals, and I love fitness, and I love being outside, and I love fall. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. Between spring and fall, I love them. They're not too hot, not too cold. The world is changing, right? In the fall, you're changing over to winter. Things are cooling off. In the spring, you're changing from winter to summer, so I'm kind of going on a tangent here, guys, but basically I love the fall. I love this time of year, and fitness and the outdoors and animals. So a really good friend of mine who I met out here in Utah, he kept saying to me, you would love archery. You would absolutely love archery. And I kind of laughed at him like, yeah, well, yes and no, because, there's a lot, you're a lot less likely to tag out with archery. And it's just something that, if I'm going to spend time hunting, I want to make sure I come back with meat. I want to enjoy the experience. I love hunting in October with a rifle. It's fun hunting for deer. And then I'm just trying to get all these things straight here, guys, because it kind of all jumbled together, and they're all kind of a conglomerate of reasons why I'm into archery. But you grow up in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, you shoot the bows during those times as well. Never really got into compound bows. And then I just look at it, and I saw when Brent, my buddy Brent, started introducing me to it, it just looked like so many confusing things. And I kept thinking, man, I just don't have the time to be able to delve into it, because I am one of those people that's kind of all in when I go into things. So long story short, I started looking into it, started doing the research, started telling my wife I wanted to get into archery hunting. And Brent kind of highlighted some things for me. He was like, dude, you're into fitness. You love getting close on animals. You're okay with failing and learning from failure, not getting beat up over failure and getting upset and throwing all your equipment away. When you fail, you learn from it and you get better. And there's a lot of, he didn't really talk about the tinkering part of it, but I started to notice that as I was doing some research. And of course, I came across quite a few people out there in social media that were into archery, and I was learning to weed out who was trying to sell me stuff and who wasn't. And, I came across Elk Shape, and you'll hear me mention Dan so much and his crew, just because he really was a huge influence on my life when it comes to archery and hunting. Also, John Dudley with Knock On, and a couple of other people. Got to know some of the guys at Wild Arrow, but definitely Dan from Elk Shape stood out to me because he was a good family guy. He just is passionate, loves fitness, and is just down to earth. And it wasn't trying to sell you anything other than, like he says, hard work, right? So all of those things kind of combined. And then I was blessed by my grandpa, who is just an amazing individual and has been there for me since I was born. I call him Papa. And he's going through some struggles right now. And with health and some other things that are, that happen as you get older. He's lived a very full life and just an amazing individual. Well, I'm going to get emotional over this. As I was wrapping up some really important things in my life, I just graduated, birthday was coming up, etc. He decided to, between him and my grandma, my Mima, to write me a check, and that covered the vast majority of what I needed for archery equipment. And I will forever be grateful, and I will never. That bow will never get traded in, no matter how many bows I own in my lifetime. While I'm alive, that bow will be forever the Papa bow that got me into archery. So all of those things combined between Brent, Elk Shape, John Dudley, again, my passion for fitness and the outdoors and animals and hunting and go down the list. It kind of built up over time. That was the catalyst where Papa said that he wanted to see me. He wanted to see me using things that I would be passionate about, and he didn't want that check used on anything else. He said if I did, he'd be mad at me, and that's just the kind of man he is. So I went and of course worked with Wild Arrow. And as Mark at Wild Arrow will tell you, he can't get rid of me since. I've basically gone up there and been adopted into the family. But he walked me through the different bows, and I ended up going with a Hoyt Axius, 29.5 inch. I think that was their alpha model for the 2020 model, or 2021, whatever the year was. And I just took off from there. Now, I told myself when I got into archery that I would shoot, at the time, it was 10 arrows a day. I've gone to at least one arrow a day based on some other things going on. But I will spend a dedicated amount of time if I have the capability of having the bow with me, even when I'm traveling, I will shoot. At the time, it was 10 arrows a day, but I will shoot every day. And so I had picked up my bow just in time that I could have purchased a tag for elk hunting, because it is over the counter here in Utah. I decided to opt out of that. And I went with my buddy Brent. We had an amazing time, and it just confirmed to me that I needed to get into archery even more and archery hunting. And so, again, a little bit of, there was different, I don't want to say pressures, but there were different events that happened throughout the course of, it was probably about 2 years that I built up to getting a bow and getting into archery. But ever since then, I've been 100% in. And I've shot every single day that I have had the capability of shooting. I even travel with my bow, and I shoot every day. I feel like I owe that to the animals that I'm going to hunt. I need to be at the top of my game. I need to constantly be testing my equipment. You don't have to tinker as much as I do. I just enjoy finding different things and trying different things out, like releases and arrows and draw lengths and, you go down the list, sights. But for me, archery has a deeper meaning than all the fun gadgets you get to play with. The main highlights for me is you have to be, yes, I know there's people that are successful that are overweight and ride around in a RZR, whatever. Don't hike in. That's fine if that's your style. Cool. For me, I look at archery as taking rifle hunting and or hunting in general and just honing it in, because you need to be fit to be consistently successful. You need to be able to get in where the animals are. You need to be tactful. So you need to be able to get in close. You need to watch the wind. There's so many things that you have to dial in before you even get to draw back on an animal. And you need to be okay with failure. You need to understand that archery hunting has a lot lower success rate than rifle hunting or even muzzleloader hunting, whatever other type of hunting, unless you're hunting with a longbow or a recurve. Archery in general is just a lot lower success rate, and there's many reasons for that. Even though I can fling arrows at 100 plus yards at a target, I do that so that I can be better at closer range, and it can feel easier, and I can be more efficient. But so archery for me, it has that deeper meaning and keeps me going forward. It has provided another motivation to continue at the gym every single day. It has provided a form of meditation where I can unplug for a couple minutes a day at least and just focus on one thing, and that is getting the arrow to the target and my shot process and learning how to be a better hunter. All of those things to me are reasons why I hunt. They're reasons for me why I am an archer. And I don't do target archery necessarily. I love doing 3D archery events. Those are fun. And maybe one day I'll get into target archery when I have some free time. I could 100% see me getting into target archery. But for now, fun 3D events and hunting is awesome. And I would highly recommend that anyone that gets into archery or has even thought about the concept of archery, definitely you can reach out to me. Again, I'm not an expert. I will always say that. I'm not a professional. There are people way more knowledgeable than me, but I can help guide you and point you in directions where you'll be able to get the resources that you need so that you can be successful. I want you to experience what I've experienced and even more with archery. I want you to be successful, happier, healthier, and I 100% believe that archery is part of that for me in my life. I live it, I love it, and I want you to have that same experience. So if you've even thought about it, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to have you over at RedBeard's Fit Crew. Again, the link's down below. We're growing that group every single day, and I'd love to have you over there. There's just great people, great individuals. Also, you can go check out First Phorm Outdoors Facebook group. That's another great group to go check out. And if you're local, let's set up a time. I'd love to meet you up at Wild Arrow. Wild Arrow Archery is my go-to spot. They're my pro shop. Great guys, amazing individuals. They are passionate about what they do, and they will get you hooked up. And I'd love to meet you up there. So again, reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. You can shoot me an email. Again, all of that is down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, guys, today was just a quick, short answer. Well, it was a longer answer to a question that was super important to me. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. If you're not, if you're on the podcast, follow and leave a like on YouTube. Share this with other people. Share it on Instagram. Tag me in it. I'd love it. Let's get this message out and continue growing. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. You have so many other podcasts you could choose, and yet you listen to mine. And I really appreciate it. Now, come join me on Saturday. We've got an amazing conversation. Look forward to that. And, of course, I hope you're able to get out, live your life, and love it.